So this morning I woke up thinking about something interesting, something a bit out of the normal, not exactly farming. That is happiness. Now I always read almost everyone's comments on the YouTube channel. I usually don't get the opportunity to respond to all of them, but I read as many as possible. And a lot of you always comment, "Hey doctor, I love the fact that you're really happy, you have lots of energy, you're always smiling." And yes guys, I'm also very amazed by the fact that I'm happy most of the days. It's interesting that most people on earth are actually not happy. If you read facts in newspapers and things happening all around the world, it looks like lots of people are not happy, and I just don't understand why people would not be happy, why someone would choose to not be happy. Because I believe happiness is a choice. Guys, happiness is a choice. And so in today's video, I'm just going to be sharing my beliefs and my thoughts of how I actually managed to be happy. How I managed to be happy from when I was young, guys. Right from the times I was growing up, I've always been a happy person. I don't believe it's just fully genetical. I believe it's a mindset. It involves some training. It involves some forms of thinking. And when you put your mind onto it, you can actually be happy. It doesn't matter the circumstances around you. You don't need lots of money. You don't need lots of things all around you for you to be happy. I'll tell you a story of an interesting experience I had quite a number of years back while I was at school. You see, I remember in my university days, while I was still in medical school, we were rotating on the pediatric ward. That's the ward that deals with children. And at the end of the rotation, I went to be assessed by the consultant who was on the ward. He was supposed to give us marks. And so we were a group of people. We were about 3 people. We take our assessment books for him to write down assessment. And then when he reached to me, I was probably the second to be assessed. My colleagues were there. He told me, "I don't think you're serious enough." And then I asked, "Why?" He's like, "You're always smiling. I don't think you're serious enough." And he was dead serious about it. He was actually going to underscore me because I was always smiling, and it just didn't make sense to me. So I told him, "Hey, I just always smile. There's nothing wrong with that." And so my colleagues talked to him and they were like, "Yeah, he has always smiled. It's just his nature. It's not that he's unserious. He's just a smiley." And you see, that experience just made me wonder, since when did smiling and being happy be a bad thing? I think the world is so used to people being sad and being unhappy that if someone is smiling and someone is happy, something is wrong. Something is happening. Anyway, this is what I believe and this is what I know. Happiness is a choice. It's a choice, and you won't make me believe otherwise. I'll tell you that because I can tell from experience. Currently, I'm spending most of my time as a farmer, as you might be able to see. So I'm on the farm. Guys, the farm is really huge. This is a 400-acre farm, and it's green everywhere. Currently, it's actually the dry season. So the grass is not very green. A lot of the trees are shedding their leaves because it's going to be super hot. And then right here is an area where we're supposed to be building a new goat shed. We've abandoned it a bit because we are trying to concentrate a lot of our effort and the workers on building some other structures. So we paused the work at this site a bit, but we'll get back to it sometime later on, yeah? So we want to keep over 5,000 goats on the farm. As many goats as possible. That's going to be our goal. Keep as many goats as possible and sheep. So this is going to be a really huge construction. It's been abandoned for now. But before I started spending most of my time doing farming work, I spent a lot of time practicing medicine. So I was working in a medical setting for quite a number of years. First as a medical student from the university. That's 5 years of medical school plus 1 year of internship. That's 6 years. And about 3 years of medical practice. So that's about 9 years of medical training. And of course you have all the years in school before. And on average, if you can ask anyone who has come into contact with me, I'm a happy person. I'm a very happy person. And like I said, it's not because it's genetic. You see, if you ask anyone currently, they might tell you that, hey, you're happy now simply because you're doing what you want. You know, you're spending your time as a farmer. You're not like the rest of us who wake up every morning and you have to go and deal with your boss in the office. Guys, if I'm to tell you the truth, since I started working, my days as a doctor are actually the most stressing days I've faced in my entire life. Oh my God. The work is too much. It's astronomical. You just can't imagine having to have all the work going on. Like, just imagine what it feels like to run a 400-acre farm. We have at least 140 cattle on the farm. We have at least 650 goats and sheep on the farm. And currently, the number of chickens is very, very high. We have more than 20,000 birds on the farm. That's including the commercial layers that we are brooding for selling the month-old birds, and then including our breeder birds, which are about 10,000. So it's quite a huge number of birds that we're keeping on the farm. Lots of builders to supervise. These guys can be really, really stressful. The people don't want to work. They look at you and they're like, hey, look at this boy. It's interesting how people would actually call you a boy, you know. But hey, those are our people, yeah, that's our people. You just need to learn how to deal with them. But it's actually a lot and a lot of work. But despite that, I've actually managed to keep the smile and managed to keep happy. So how have I managed to keep happy? There are a few bullet points that I believe have led me to this point. Number one, have faith. Guys, I happen to be a Christian. I'm actually a born-again Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior. And I believe that has given me lots of hope and happiness and, you know, no worry. I never worry, guys. I just never worry because I know God has got me, you know. I'm not worried that something terrible is going to happen to me tomorrow. And even if something terrible happens to me tomorrow, it's okay. God has got it in control. All will be fine. So having this hope and faith that there is someone stronger than me, someone greater than me, someone watching over me, someone who actually cares about me more than I do care about myself. Oh my God, it gives me so much strength. It gives me so much joy. It gives me so much satisfaction and so much energy that keeps me going each and every day. The second thing that I believe has enabled me to remain happy and smiling is that I'm very uninterested in negative news. Oh my God, this has really helped me. You see, the thing with me is that I never watch TV. That's, yeah, interesting, yeah. I never watch TV, and because of that, I never watch news. If you turn on your TV right now and you turn on news, I assure you, whether it's BBC, CNN, any form of news in your country, Al Jazeera, UBC, whichever country you're in, 90% of the news is actually negative news. I don't know why they don't call it negative news. Yeah, they just call it news. It's like positive news is not something that captures people. It's not interesting. So I think for the news channels, for them to get people attracted, they actually put the negative news most. And the funny bit is that people are also interested, or they like to watch negative news more, you know. There was a bomb blast in this country, someone was robbed, the economy is falling. You know, just think about all the bad things. COVID virus is over here. The negative news is actually what draws most of the attention. And trust me, whether you want it or not, it affects you. It affects your joy, it affects your happiness. So it's not that I made a decision not to watch news, but just due to the fact that I'm not interested in news, I'm not interested in watching TV, that keeps me a happy person because I have less things to worry about, honestly. Someone will come to me and tell me, hey, did you see this thing that happened in the news? Or do you know about this that happened? I'm like, hey, is that in Uganda? Or like, what is that? Like, I'm so clueless about news. And I believe that has helped me remain positive and build myself. It's not that I don't like to get information. Guys, I'm actually one of the most curious and inquisitive people you'll find, yeah? When I go to YouTube, I spend a lot of time watching YouTube when I'm not working. And when I'm watching YouTube, I'll watch YouTube videos about anything educative. I'll watch documentaries about how cars are made. I'll watch documentaries about space. I'll watch documentaries about money, about anything. But that's simply because I want to learn. So the curiosity is about learning and not just getting news, getting to know things that are happening outside there. Point number 3 is choosing to do what satisfies your soul. Now, I say this with caution because a lot of people, what satisfies their souls is terrible. Like, someone will just wake up and they're like, for me, the thing that makes me happy is to go and rob banks. Or for me, the thing that makes me happy is to murder people. I don't think that's satisfaction. I think that's being a bit of psychic or having some psychological issues. If for you that's what makes you happy, to hurt others, no, then that's a problem. But ideally, you should be able to chase and focus on the things that make you happy and not give a damn what the rest of the people say. There is a book that I love and a book that I read some time back. The title of the book was The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware. Actually, I advise, you guys to go and read that book. And the most common regret of the dying was, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. And this has really influenced my decisions a lot because a lot of times I'll find myself in a position where I have to make a decision, and it's either about me or what the rest of the people think about me. For example, when I did choose to leave practicing medicine officially, and chose to chase my passions in farming, lots of people were telling me, hey, you're living this whole thing, saving people and working on people. You could be treating and saving lots of lives. And then what will your parents think? Actually, even my parents, I just imagine what my parents would think. Actually, my parents never really had a problem with it. That's the interesting bit, yeah? When they did find out, I didn't tell them directly. They both watched the YouTube videos. But when they did find out, they actually didn't have a problem with it. But the rest of the people and society's expectations, it can actually keep you sad, I could have kept in the profession. While I was in the profession, I wasn't sad. But once I started getting these ideas of, hey, how about I can do this and do this, leave the profession, go and do farming, influence people in another way. Then I started feeling like I have less and less interest in medicine. So for me, getting stuck there would actually have been very, very detrimental to me, because I would be sad. I would just be thinking about the possibilities on the other side of life. If you think about what other people want less and think about what you want and find a way of working it out that you can get there, that's really good, and that would be very, very satisfactory. So that was it, guys. Thanks for always watching the videos, for following, for subscribing, and for hitting that like button. That makes me really, really happy. Those were the key points that I believe lead to my happiness. On this channel, I mainly share about farming and my journey into farming. So once in a while, you'll come across videos like this about the things I believe and the things I think and the things that have made me who I am today. Catch you guys very soon with another video. Bye bye.